Hey peeps, welcome back to my to the finale of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. In the last episode, we managed to get through Fritz's ending, and today it's a little bittersweet, but today is the final episode where we get to see the entirety of a story come to an end with Waltz's ending. Yeah, I just really don't have that much to say except thank you so much for following us for the past. Has it been a year?
Uh, I feel like it might be. I'll have to double check that, but it's been a while.
Yeah. It's been a while. Like, it doesn't feel like it, but it certainly has been a while. So I feel like why not end off 2021 with a nice, beautiful story about how two people fell in love and how they navigate the time afterwards. So, without further ado, let's get into this game, shall we?
Why, yes, I believe we shall.
So, we're gonna play this intro one last time, for old time's sake.
Used to think that happy ends did not exist in a world filled with grace and loneliness. Without a purpose, why was I still here? Then you took my hand and showed me light I couldn't see. Darling, you filled my empty world with vivid colors. The shadows of my past are gone and I can see more clearly. The stars shine more brightly in the endless night sky. With you here by my side, I can smile. Ah, stay with me forevermore. Ah.
Oh, yeah, so let me go ahead and get a pen. I almost forgot. Be right back.
I mean, that might, I suppose.
Okay. Alright. So, we are on to the last route. Hard to believe this is the case, but. Well, We've said this several times in this show. We could say it again. Good things must come to an end, so we have room for the new good stuff. Alright, gonna fast forward a little bit. Actually, we could read this part for one last time as well, because there's less time gonna come in through this.
One last time.
One last time. Once upon a time in a land far, far away there lived a princess. She was known as the Ice Princess, named for her frigid heart and unyielding coldness toward others. The princess shunned all who sought to help her. She was scared to go out into the world, so she locked herself up in a palace. Then one day, the Ice Princess became the victim of the infamous fairy tale curse and was forced to go from riches to rags. As the princess struggled to come to terms with her new life, she met a very special man. The two endured much strife, helping each other overcome various ordeals. In the end, they emerged victorious. The special man thawed the princess's ice-cold heart and dried her dampened spirits. The two vowed to love each other for the rest of time. They lived happily ever after. But what happens after happily ever after? So on that note, we're going to be going through the last story of Her Highness, well, in this case, Queen Briella Britain.
There's like 3 other guys here.
And also, pardon the noise in the background, staying at a friend's place, so a little bit more commotion than usual, but hopefully it does not distract from your experience too much. But we're going to go ahead and go through Walt's story. So
I was looking it up, and Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore Part 1 streamed 10 months ago.
So nearly a year.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. It did not feel like 12 months. But yeah, this one,
Is she tomboy for
I admit, like, it's a little bit of a, this one's a little bit of a throw-off, because I think it was, like, I forget it was this ending or Claude's ending, where, like, a lot of people did not make it to see the end of this. Because I know there was, like, one ending where, I think it was Fritz died, I think Garland died, I think even Jurian died, Delora died, Barfy died, like, everyone was dead. I don't remember which one. I thought it was this one, but it wasn't. But, yeah, like, this was the one we first played when we did this, so it feels like in a way we're coming back full circle.
Yeah.
So, the first decision was wait for me, even though so far between Waltz and Lucette have been busy. Waltz trying to pacify the witches, and Lucette, well, being queen and all that, so it's an adjustment period. So the first one is wait for me. So, I know there's still a lot of switches here as well, so unfortunately I can't really go with the first choice that we did, but I'm pretty sure a good number of them probably were first choices.
Yeah, again, this was the first route we did, so I'm like, do I even remember all the choices we made?
No. I barely remember anything. I remember, like, the only thing I remember was the finale with the chocolates, the war criminal story, and the pretty interesting discussion about how maybe some people they have to keep account of their crimes, but ultimately it's what they do after that makes them better. It's a lot. So, for this one, I think I do remember we stayed and watched, but apparently the correct decision here is walk around town, so let's see what that is. So, for context, they're watching, I think it was Grand Blue Dreaming, and... If anybody's seen that show, you know what I'm talking about. I only just started watching it, and it's like the most...
I think it's almost better just to leave it without context and, like, just confuse people.
Yeah. Well, it's the most. Let's just go with that. It's the most. Oh gosh. Anyway. There's no point sitting here and doing nothing. I may as well walk around town. I glance one more time at the group of smiling, laughing children. Lots always manages to put just a smile on their faces. I wonder if there's anything I can do to make the day even better for them. I am thoughtful as I begin my stroll. I'm greeted by the townspeople as I walk through the town plaza sampling various foods. It has been a long time since I treated myself like this. Waltz and I used to visit these stalls frequently, and he'd buy me his favorite treats. The candied apples have always been my favorite, though. When hasn't it been, Lou said? Well, besides the other ships, of course. I must have been unconsciously thinking about them, because soon I find myself in front of the candied apple stall I first visited with Waltz years ago.
Your Majesty.
The merchant behind the stall bows.
What a pleasure it is to see you again.
Likewise. It has been a while. I surveyed the apples on display. Some are covered in chocolate, others in caramel, still others sparkle with crystallized sugar, and there are a couple of candied flakes on them. I think the first candy apple I ever had was from my dad. Like, he found this stand in New Jersey, and they made this apple pie one, which tasted amazing.
Never really had like a quality candied apple, so I've never been a huge fan of them, but I think that's because it's always been like a do your own thing,
Right.
which, you know, it just ends up being an apple with a sheet of caramel on top,
Yeah.
and then you eat the caramel and then it's just an apple. So I'm like, what? But I feel like if I actually had like a, you know, better professional quality one, I would likely enjoy it very much.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't personally, like, go out of my way for them, but, like, if I did get offered one, I probably wouldn't say no to it.
Yeah.
These all look delicious.
Any strike your fancy? I can cut some sample slices for you.
How am I to choose? It occurs to me I could get 2 apples. I could treat Waltz to a dessert like he does so often does with me. Or... I reach into my coin purse for several silver pieces, which I slide onto the table. The merchant stares wide-eyed.
Your Highness, I can't take all this.
I'm paying the tab for everybody in town. Everybody gets an apple. You get an apple. You get an apple. You get an apple. Everybody gets an apple.
We'll take the lot.
We'll take the lot. It's an ample compensation for all your apples, I'd say.
All of them?
I would like to treat some people. Waltz is wrapping up his story when I return to the plaza.
Is she gonna give them to the kids?
Self-voicing enabled.
Yes.
Waltz is rapid. Self-voicing disabled.
I just actually started self-voicing. At least one of those things has to pop up during this final playthrough, of course. Self-voicing. Never change. But yeah. Just gotta give them all to the kids.
And they all lived.
Happily ever after! I approach the booth from behind. The children who notice me hide giggles behind their hands. Because apparently, what's better than puppet shows? Puppet shows and candy apples. Waltz looks quizzical until I poke him in the shoulder. He jumps. The children laugh as he whirls to face me, eyes wide as saucers.
Is that?
Hello, Mr. Magician. It's the Queen! The Queen's here! She must have used her magic to sneak back up on Waltz. I wish I still had the wild imagination of a child. That's right. You have to pay more attention to your surroundings, Mr. Magician.
Forgive me, my queen. I didn't realize you were leaving the palace today.
Emily convinced me to take a break. I thought I'd walk around while you were doing your show. For the first time, Waltz seems to notice the tiered trays I'm carrying. His lips pull into a wide grin.
What's that?
A treat for some children I hear have been really good. I turn to the children who have crowded near and are pointing excitedly at the candied apples in the trays. So, have all of you been good? Yes! The children yell excitedly in unison. Then, I'm here to deliver a special treat. Carefully, I begin to set the stacked trays down on Waltz's booth. We hand out the candied apples, one for each child, and take the last two for us. A traditional candied apple for Waltz, and a chocolate caramel covered apple for me.
Oh, this is a very pleasant surprise.
Aww. I want to do something nice for the children.
It was a wonderful idea. They loved it. I love it.
Aww. He leans forward to kiss my forehead.
That, my little star. Always so thoughtful.
Not as thoughtful as you.
I respectfully disagree.
His eyes light up when he takes a bite of the apple.
This is always sweetest when shared with you.
Aww. I never think to have one without you. I rise to my feet and hold out my hand. Shall we head back? Waltz grasps my hand.
We shall.
Two of us had just begun our walk back to the palace when someone calls my name. Alright, so now we got the, this part was pretty obvious. I do remember this one. It was supposed to be tell me a story, not sing me a song. That one was pretty obvious. So, I think we already listened to this one, though, and it was kind of about Waltz's past in a way, so we can fast forward to this part. Let's see. Context.
Let's come to the next decision. Agree or disagree? Yes.
Oh yeah, the, taking a break. Apparently the best ending was Concede, which was what I originally picked. And then I thought Protest was the correct answer, but it turns out Concede was the correct answer. So... Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay, I forgot to, I forgot I was doing this. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Next? Oh yeah. About we came across Waltz's old home. And then we chose apologize originally, but the correct answer was comfort him. Though we did pick it eventually to get more development. I remember that. Because really sad thing. Oh, okay. Here's the one that gets really interesting here. So the last one we picked was None, which I think hands down gave us one of the best scenes in this playthrough. And I think our point still has the same. It's still the same where you don't have to be a perfect parent. You just gotta do your best. But apparently the real answer is I have no preference. So let's go ahead and see what Lucette means by that.
No?
Any child we would have would be a blessing. Now it's Waltz who blushes. The rosiness of his cheeks makes me laugh. How many would you want?
You're right. Any child would be a blessing, but...
You want many children.
How did you know?
With the puppet shows and the witch school counts? It is not hard to guess. You're always so good with them, Waltz. Children adore you. I only hope that I would be as good as a mother as you are a father.
There's no doubt in my mind. The children love you too, you know.
But my mother...
You aren't your mother, Lucette. You're full of love and light, little star. And you would be an amazing mother.
Aww. Aww. And I think that's the other part. You may be born of your parents, but you're not exactly like them. So, you can forge your own path, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seems hard. It's pretty hard, but it can be done. Alright.
Well, it's even like, if you consider occupations, like, a lot of people follow after what their parents do, but that isn't necessarily the case.
That's true.
If they don't, that's also perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, originally I was going to have the similar career as my dad, but as I went through college, I made a pretty hard decision, decided actually to go somewhere completely different. And, yeah, it's much harder, but I feel like I'm much happier for it.
And that's really what it comes down to. As long as you can pay your bills and you're enjoying life, then, you know, you're set.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the key thing. So, let's see. Let me see what the context was for this one. I think it was about the... Oh yeah, the interrogations, right. You know, like the Order Chaldeer could take care of this. She argues, no, it's a magical matter. I should be taking care of this. So it was argue. Alright, so this word. Oh yeah, and this is the prisoner. I think originally said this is none of your business, but it turns out the correct answer was you have no right to judge him. Because we did a lot of switching here.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm starting to figure it out. All right, and then oh yeah, the coronation, right? Like feeling a little bit awkward about being called like good and all of that. I think I reasoned with him in the original playthrough, if I remember that correctly. So. Next one. Ah, this one. So let's see. There's a gratitude to the town from town every year, and then you can switch to Lieutenant Bar Bearer. I originally said that she'd be better than her mother, because like her mother was like a reign of terror. But on the other hand, I think like her father as well kind of made a little bit of a stream with the magical community, so they could say. So apparently the answer is I'm showing them she's not her father, which is interesting.
That is interesting, because, knowing her father from the other playthroughs, he is a great man.
Yeah.
And
I mean, of course he has his flaws, but I mean, like, yeah, I feel like he's a pretty good guy, really. That's what the logic is behind that answer, showing them she's not her dad. In the past, I was feared as Hilder's daughter. When I learned the truth about her being the one to start the Great War, I disassociated myself from her. I single-mindedly chased my father's legacy and compared myself to him. But I cannot and should not be using the same procedures he used to try and connect with the witches. I can't just be queen. I must be a bearer as well. A bearer does things differently from my mother, one who strives to keep balance.
you're well on your way there, Lucette.
That would not be the case if you two were not here helping me. I owe you both a lot. You owe us nothing. I want to be here.
It's the truth.
Thank you. I crossed my arms. Speaking of my own efforts, though, I'm not my father. I am considering a different way to unite this kingdom, something that breaks down some of the barriers currently in place. Okay, I can kind of see where she's going with it. So, like, the father, yes, did things to unite the kingdom, but it seems like in some ways it did come at somewhat the expense of the magical side. Whereas, since she's not only queen, but also the Tenebrarum bearer, she's doing policies now that will keep both things in mind. So, in a way, she's proving that she's not her mother because of the actions that she's doing. But then she's proving that she's not her father by keeping the things that would pretty much suppress any magic users from being able to do good deeds or benefit to the populace, especially when it comes to witches. If I'm getting all that right.
Yeah, because her dad didn't use magic, so it's hard to know like what policies to make concerning it if you're not involved in it.
And I think just to make sure there's no repeat of somebody like Hilder in history, really. Though, can't really guarantee that for sure.
Yeah.
Alright. So I can see what they're talking about here. So the next one, it is about the chocolate. So we're supposed to give the chocolate to the children, because because the princes are visiting from Brigantia, and then because she bought the chocolate for the children, decided to stick with giving it to the children. So I think we did pick that one. It's like, a promise is a promise.
And otherwise, then it's just like royalty waltzing in and like taking over stuff. I'm like, that on a larger scale, that would be like some sort of tyranny, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Alright. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to remember this one. Okay. Ooh, I cannot remember this one. So it was... Okay, so depending on the... So if a... I think it's like if an attack requires way more concentration, it's a barrier. If it's less concentration, it's a shield. Okay, powerful spells cannot be deflected, but weak spells can. Since he's doing a lot more concentration, I think it's supposed to be a shield. Oh! Okay, I hope I did not pick the incorrect thing. Because apparently this might be the wrong answer. Let's see. It is the first answer that pops into my head. After all, I have been conditioned to use shields far more often than deflectors, which can harm people. I cast my barrier just in time as Walt's magic comes rushing toward me. I hold my ground as the magic touches my barrier and does not even leave a dent. I sigh inwardly. I should have used a deflector for that one, most likely. Even Walt looks a little surprised. I just ruined his lesson, didn't I? But Walt is good at improvising. He knows how to make a mistake a part of the lesson.
You all see what the queen did? She used a shield to show us that the spell I cast was a weak one. You see how it didn't leave a single dent in her barrier? That means she could have used a deflector.
Ah.
What?
He holds up a finger.
It's better to avoid deflectors altogether if you can. Reflecting someone's magic back at them is dangerous. Overall, a barrier is the best way to keep others from being hurt. Understand?
The children all nod and begin to mumble amongst each other. Waltz turns toward me.
Makes me think on my toes tonight, I see.
Yes, that is exactly what I meant to do. Waltz dismisses the children shortly after our demonstration. They bow and give their thanks as they leave the forest. So our actual, I think maybe this one doesn't really matter as much, but I think our first answer was the one that was correct, actually. The walkthrough says with this one, the answer, neither one's incorrect, but deflector was the correct answer. I should have paid more attention, so.
I think we got it last time.
We did get it last time.
Because we were paying attention and we figured it out.
Yeah.
It's harder when you just, like, jump right into it. You're like, wait.
Yeah, and plus we haven't played this ending in so long, so I totally forgot. It's like, oh my gosh, like, I know powerful spells can't be deflected, but weak spells can be deflected. It's like, which one is it going to use? And it's like, I feel ridiculous now. He's doing a demonstration in front of kids. Of course, deflector would make more sense. Okay, for the sake of insurance, just to make sure that we guarantee the good end at least, I am gonna, oh, I can't reverse back. Shoot. Gonna have to just go with what we've got. We have to go with what we've got, so, so we had to stick with deflector. But we did get some new dialogue here, though, which is going to be pretty interesting. So hopefully it doesn't matter too much. Then we get the best ending, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm overthinking this, though. Oh my god. Because we've come so far, and I don't want this to go for too long. Then again, it does go for over an hour, so we go for a while as is.
The reason you used the shield tonight, stage fright?
You said it jokingly, but the words still make me blush. It has been a long time since I cast a deflector. My apologies for forgetting in the moment.
You don't need to apologize, Little Star. We still got a great lesson out of it.
He steps forward, closing the distance between us.
It was great to have you here. Reminds me of simpler times.
Simpler times when the two of us were focused entirely on magic and what the next day would bring. We were so focused in the present then. It was difficult to consider the far future.
And now, all we ever think about is the future.
Do you think so? I think we do not think on it enough. Waltz looks at me curious.
Huh? Why do you say that?
I glance back at the bag I set by the tree, then at the moonlight coming through the trees. I think it started connected with what I've planned, and that's where like the stars come out. That one was pretty cool. Though I think that mistake was actually, I think it ended, in a way kind of showed a lot more depth and dimension. So I don't really mind it that much. I just hope it still gives us the best ending. Is all I'm thinking.
Yeah.
On that note, next. Oh yeah, about Mithros. I think I responded you can make a difference now. I remember that much from the original playthrough. Yeah, that one was... Whew. And then... we switched this one, because I said I do not believe that's true originally. And then... but the actual correct answer is perhaps... And then the last one is obviously candied apples. Like, even I could figure that out. Yeah. So, Alright. Not that. I just don't want to lose too much. Oh, Mr. Broom.
Mr. Broom.
Mr. Broom! Okay. I'm just trying to make sure I do not lose the title of the 6th chapter, but... So they decided to do a reunion at the March-In, which was really, really sweet. So now, let's hopefully get to the actual good end of chapter 6, which is... the Queen and King of Angiel! We did it! God save the Queen, God save the King. So, we did make the good ending, even with that one little mistake. Then again, Waltz is thinking on his toes, so there's that. So on that note...
Hello again, Mother. Father.
Walt steps forward to place a single flower between his parents' graves. It is early morning. The two of us teleported here soon after we woke. It was Walt's single request for today. He wanted to tell his parents the news. Today is a very special day after all. And that's the coronation! Because they did the first declaration as a married couple. Throw pillow at husband. I still have not forgotten that.
I brought Lucette with me today, my wife.
Wife. I still cannot believe we are finally married. Yeah, initially when I played the playthrough, I couldn't believe it either. Until y'all had a pillow fight the first morning after. I moved to stand beside Waltz. Hello again.
I came to tell you both that the ceremony, about the ceremony happening today.
Waltz shifts on his feet. The motion makes him look nervous. It is the first show of anxiety I've seen from him today. I gently take his hand and squeeze it reassuringly. It's been it's been Whew. It's been a busy few months since we married, but I think Waltz is ready now for the crowning ceremony.
Glad I have your vote of confidence.
It's not just mine. Everyone feels the same way too. You've been helping me rule this kingdom for 2 years. I know the policies inside and out by now. Waltz turns back to the graves. He chuckles. There's a soft, anxious sound.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but yes, today is the crowning ceremony.
Today, Waltz officially becomes the King of Angiel. Waltz's grip on my hand suddenly grows loose. He stumbles, looking something like a man trying to balance himself on a swaying ship. Waltz? Are you okay? He just laughs. That soft, carefree laugh I've always loved.
I just can't believe it. I've never been one for titles.
He's the Jon Snow of the group. Oh. Yeah, that's true. He's basically the Jon Snow of the group, if you think about it. So Rod was Crown Prince. Karma is the Crown Prince of Brigantia. Chevalier is a doctor. Fritz was a knight. So Waltz, I think, well, besides Fritz, Waltz is basically the only one that did not have a title attached to him originally, so...
He is Puppet Master.
Puppet Master.
The Prodigy, Peter Pan, Magician. Those all felt like expectations other people put on me. King of Angiel isn't just a title, though. It's an honor. And I'm still in denial I get to accept it today.
But it's an honor you've earned, Waltz. He shakes his head, his eyes bright with wonder.
You're so confident, little star. You are made to rule a kingdom. You're diligent and hardworking and wise beyond your years. I feel terribly inadequate next to you.
This isn't like you, Waltz Cresswell. Not only are you one of the most capable people I've ever known, but you're also one of the bravest, and most confident. You've done everything you could, and more for NGL. You say that I was made for this, but so were you. The throne has been waiting for someone like you. Waltz pulls me toward him, wrapping an arm around my shoulders and pressing a kiss to my head.
You always know exactly what to say.
I like to think I know you pretty well by now. I glanced toward the graves. Last time we were here, the quiet felt oppressive. Today the silence is serene. Waltz turns his attention back to the graves.
You see why I fell in love with Lucette all those years ago?
Aww. I thought you were going to here to tell him about the ceremony, not me?
I can't bring you here and not flatter you in front of my parents.
He plants another quick kiss on my head before letting go of my hand, and kneeling in front of the graves, he dips his head and begins to whisper, speaking words to his parents that are not for me to hear. I moved to lean against a nearby tree so as to give him some space. I gazed at Waltz from afar. It is hard to believe that when we first met, he was cursed into the form of a boy. I was running from men who wanted to steal my gold back then. I remember Waltz and Claude were there to rescue me and take me back to the tavern. And before that, I saw Waltz in town with Emmeline performing magic. He offered me a lily with that, which I refused. I did not understand why he looked so sad then. Waltz was waiting all those years for me. Well, no longer. There's no reason for us to postpone this. We've both been ready for a long time. The sun passes overhead, throwing shards of glimmering sunlight across the forest floor as the leaves quiver in the wind. The shifting sun reminds me of our quickly diminishing time. Waltz? Waltz rises from his crouch.
I'm ready to go.
Then, let us return. As Waltz is conjuring a portal, I approach the gravestones. I set a hand on one of the rocks. I never had the honor of knowing you, but I want you to know I love your son dearly. He calls me his little star, but in truth, I think he shines more brightly than I do. His unflagging optimism and dedication have kept me afloat.
Set?
Waltz waits patiently by the portal. Coming! I brush my hands across the stone one last time before following Waltz into the portal. The rest of the day is chaotic on account of all the preparations. Dignitaries and representatives from in and out of our kingdom wander the corridors, conversing about all manner of things. Your Majesty, the royal seamstress says your dress is ready. One maid stops abruptly in front of me, frazzled. She bows belatedly. If we're sorry to interrupt, it's fine. Please send the seamstress to my room. Understood. I turned to Waltz, who has helped me run errands throughout the day. He has been introducing himself to people we've only ever corresponded with via letter.
It's hard to believe the day is just beginning, with everything's going on.
I don't remember how much upheaval there was when I was crowned. Things are busy, but you're going to want to imprint these memories in your mind forever. It is a special day.
I know.
My own coronation came shortly after the kingdom was saved. It was a tumultuous, uncertain time. Things are much calmer now. Though the magic incidents have not stopped, they are less frequent. I like to think it is because the council that helps make decisions now has representatives from all over NGL. For the first time, there are humans, witches, and fairies on the council. Lieutenant Barham and Lucis are the most stabilized they've been in years. Finally, things are beginning to look up. Now is the perfect time for a coronation.
If the Queen of Angiel says so, then it must be true.
Oh, I wonder who this is. I'm guessing Emmeline. Is that? Hey! I know this place too well! We turn to see Ophelia approaching with Emmeline and a few maids trailing her. Emmeline is practically bouncing on her feet. You said, why are you still doing here? We need to get you ready. It is imperative you look regal today.
Agree.
That goes for you too. I personally had the seamstress make you an outfit for the coronation.
I know. But no matter what I wear, you will always be the one who shines brightest. As it should be.
I wonder what she's wearing. Waltz, this is your coronation? Ophelia chuckles. But you still are Queen of Angiel, and you must look the part. Come now. We'll see you later, Waltz. Emmeline and Ophelia begin to pull me away. I desperately cast a glance over my shoulder, but Waltz just looks amused. You got overruled by your own family.
Don't worry, little star. I'll make sure the rest of the preparations are taken care of.
He waves at Ophelia and Emmeline pull me around the corner.
Is it just gonna be her, like, regal blue dress?
I think it might be. I mean, it looks kind of like purplish and like the fur. Then again, it was like, Then again, it was like that one was like that ending was like chaos, absolute chaos. In my room, I am fussed over by an overwhelming amount of people, all of whom poke and prod at me until they determine I look perfect. When I voice my concerns that Waltz is the focus, everyone waves the words away. Nonsense. There's every bit of your accomplishment as Waltz. The two of you are going to rule together, after all. Exactly. You have to look stunning. The two of them remain after I've dismissed the palace staff. You look stunning, dear. The queen out of a fairy tale. Oh!
That's a new one.
That's gorgeous.
Indeed.
I would like to think this is more real than a fairy tale. True, fairy tales have the best have happy endings, but they skim over the best details. That's what love makes the love we achieve in reality better than any fairy tale love. Real love is more complicated and profound. Ophelia adjusts the clasps on my shoulders and checks the length of my cape. Thank you both for helping me. Of course. Where's Rod? Just making sure every noble knows where to sit with the throne room doors open. He's also, making sure the Almonte brothers don't fight in front of everyone. Good call, Rod. I think about Claude and his brother bickering in a crowd of stuffy royals and laugh. They will be a much welcome sight in the audience. What are my friends? All here and accounted for. I've prepared the seating so they have a front row view. I need to adjust the volume for a second. It just got suddenly like really loud. Perfect. I turn to look at myself in the mirror. I barely recognize the woman who looks back at me. When I first wore this crown, it felt too heavy for me. I was still grieving then, and I feared the weight of the future. Now, I reach up to adjust it with a smile. Her Majesty? Come in. Actually, my laptop, as always, there's gotta be at least one of these moments in the stream. My laptop's dying, so I'll be right back. Stay tuned. What royal trade secrets have been exchanged with the audience?
You know, nothing important.
Right. Anyway. Oh, I just wore them the wrong way. Okay, there we go. A servant steps into the room and bows. Okay, there we go. Lord Waltz, His Majesty... He's no Lord Waltz for Nat right now. Why'd you want to tell me? He's waiting in the throne room for you. Are you sure this is okay? Doesn't he have to be standing outside when the ceremony starts? It's fine, dear. We still have over an hour before the ceremony begins. Let them Lucette and Waltz have some time alone together. She rests his reassuring hand on my back. Good luck, Lucette. As per the traditions of the ceremony, I will be crowning Waltz, but he is the one who needs to speak who's found at Angiel. He's been practicing the ceremony for weeks to get it right.
Self-voicing disabled.
Oof. I almost did that one more time. Hold on. Apparently self-voicing is also attending as well. I hope you know that no matter what happens in the future, we'll all be here for you. Always. Even when you're in Brigantia doting over a foreign prince. Even then! Ophelia laughs as she steers Emmeline toward the door. I'll clear the corridor for you. See you at the ceremony, Lucette. Goodbye. After the two of them leave, I wait inside for a few moments until the corridor quiets. Even though I'm not the one being crowned today, I nonetheless found myself shaking with nerves. So it just happened so fast. Even when I pinch myself, the reality remains. And yet, I'm still in denial. Before, this kind of happiness felt impossible. Like something meant for someone else. Meant for someone else, but not for me. But no. This is a reality. Waltz is waiting for me. I open the door and head for the throne room. Just as Emmeline and Ophelia promised, the corridors leading to the throne room are empty of everyone save for the Knights of the Order of Caldera. Perhaps that is not surprised when first period people I see beyond the throne room doors are Jurian and Garland. Okay, so not that many people died in this one. I was like... yeah, I totally mixed up with somebody else. Anyway. Your Majesty?
Your Majesty?
They both bow before me. Oh, you too? How preparations coming? Everything's ready, my queen. We'll start bringing people in when you give the signal. She casts a look over her shoulder. Even from here, I could see a lone figure on the throne. Rest assured, I'll guard Lord Waltz with my life.
And I'll be behind you the whole time, Your Majesty.
I glance between the knights. When I first met them, they have been dishonorably discharged from the Order because of rightful suspicions they harbored against Alcaster. Now here they stand, the two highest-ranking knights of the Order of Caldera. Thank you both for your hard work and loyalty. Oh, wait, that's me. Gosh. It is our honor to serve, Your Majesty.
We'll make sure everything goes exactly as planned today.
I have the security in your capable hands. Please do. Jarian exits the room, perhaps to give Waltz and I more privacy. Darwin is following her out when asked a question. Have you two set a wedding for your date yet? Date for your wedding yet? Darwin freezes.
It'll be the spring. That's Jurian's favorite season.
Congratulations.
And to you as well, Your Majesty. Thank you for your kind words.
He exits, still looking flustered. Oh yeah, I think Fritz died in this ending. Now I remember. I think Fritz died and Parfait died here, obviously. Now I remember. It's like I know there was somebody else who was not here. Anyway, I laugh to turn back to Waltz. Even reclining the way he is on the throne, he looks regal. The sight of him takes my breath away.
Hello, little star.
What outfit is he wearing? Hello, Waltz. Are you so nervous you're sitting in the throne because you can't stand?
Promise you won't laugh?
I promise.
I wanted to make sure that I sat in it the right way. Last thing I want to look is a fool in front of everyone.
I laugh. Oh? That is most definitely how not how you sit on the throne. And you know what I'm thinking? The finale from The Princess Diaries 2, where like Chris Pine and Anne Hathaway are in the Genovian throne room after they changed the law that allowed Princess Mia to become queen in her own right. It just reminds me of that scene. He smiles as I approach, his eyes glimmering like distant stars.
You look beautiful, Lucette. Like magic personified.
Well, I am the Lieutenant Barroom Bearer, so I suppose that's appropriate. And you look very handsome. We're doing this now.
What's that? I couldn't hear you. You're gonna have to step a little closer.
I'll have to step closer, 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 until I am standing before the throne. Waltz's throne. Must I repeat myself?
If you would be so kind as to whisper it in my ear.
Waltz?
Humor me? No one's going to see us like this.
Are you sure? The walls have eyes. My heart beats a frenzied rhythm as I slide into Waltz's lap. Oh, snap!
No. Okay, now you can say it.
This is hardly traditional.
You know me, Lisette. I have tricks aplenty up my sleeve. I'm hardly a traditional king.
Touche! I lean close enough that our noses brush. You look very handsome, my king.
And you, my queen, are the most beautiful woman in the whole world.
The two of us laugh. As close our breaths intermingle.
Am I the first man to see you like this today?
Well, if you count Garland, then yes. Well, no. I give him a teasing smile. You are. And lucky man that you are, you'll be the first one to see me every day for the rest of our lives. Waltz laughs.
I am lucky. The luckiest man in the whole world.
He presses his forehead to mine.
You know that I will always love you, right?
Sitting here on the throne together, the two of us frozen in time. I could sit here looking at into Waltz's eyes like this forever. Eventually the ceremony must begin. Eventually you must put on formal airs for the audience. But right now, it's just the two of us. I allow myself the luxury of basking in Waltz's warmth. I look into his eyes and see the future. It is the brightest, most beautiful future I could ever dream. Oh,
I love you, Lucette.
I love you too, Waltz. Forevermore. Roll credits! And, indeed, their love lasted forevermore. Oh.
And now I know how you can top puppets.
Yeah! Puppets for the coronation!
Have all the kids do a little puppet show in the background.
Yeah, at the reception! Once upon a time! Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, children puppet reception.
Just brings it all together.
Brings it all full circle! Oh. Honestly, Waltz and Lucette are just the most adorable couple. They really are. So I think I could kind of remember like which ones we retried. So without including without the retries, we basically tied with Fritz at a 9 and 15 out of 15. But including the retries, the total is 12 out of 15. We got the double digits. So it kind of proves that like Waltz is more or less the canonical pairing, I think.
He's the best option.
He is the best option, though. I think the wedding ceremony was amazing. Oh, and with that, this game is officially over. I mean, I'm still hoping for that prequel game. And I think there was some other one that I thought of during the last stream. I just can't remember what it is. But it would be so much fun to play. But anyway, I was one of the donors for this game for Evermore back when they were developing this, though I'm not listed because I wasn't that significant. But thank you so much, Daisuke, for developing this game. And here's to several more to come. Such a good game.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. See you among the stars. That was beautiful. That's new.
Why? Why do you want him?
But yeah. This was an emotional roller coaster, but it was a fun ride. Really, really fun ride. And there's the last letter. And there it is. So now we pretty much got the whole thing. Got the gallery here. And then I think the trophies are right over here.
See, and that one ends up in front of hers. So, even they know that Waltz is the best one.
Pretty much. So we've pretty much completed everything here, which is great.
Yeah. Like, there might be a couple, like, wrong options he didn't go through for dialogue, but, eh.
For the most part. I mean, we did a pretty good job, really. So we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 60 options that we had to go through. So like on average in terms of the rating, I'm not a math major, so like on average I got maybe like I'm bad at averaging. Maybe I shouldn't try this, but anyway, we did pretty good, honestly. Obviously, Waltz is gonna be the best one that we can figure out, but honestly, all of them had their value, and all of them had their different things that they could really delve into. And what I really liked, especially, was how the first game, you focus more on the magical aspect, and in this one, you're focusing more on the more practical stuff. Because that's the thing that, like, everybody can really relate to. And in some ways, how you can kind of realize these things, like, in your own life. And I just don't know what else to say, because this is just a really, really fun experience that was just wonderful, really.
And it got into, a lot of the deeper stuff that you don't always think about, offhand.
Yeah, because some of us may not even think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But officially, this is the end of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. Hard to believe that that's done. So, I missed Andara yesterday, so part 4 might be coming up tomorrow? Maybe Monday? Not Monday. Probably tomorrow. But, Monday we're doing, Barony, and then, well, I had to figure out another game to basically take the place of, the Saturday. I'm thinking maybe Sneaky Sasquatch, because that's a pretty fun one. There's also Oregon Trail, Stanley Parable, and I made a plan for my January playthrough, which is Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is a pretty fun one, which is basically going through all the houses of all the major arcana of the tarot as bosses, and has voice acting by Queen Latifah. So that's gonna be pretty fun.
Okay.
And special offers on my Fiverr shop is gonna be the last few months of the shop, which will be closing up in April of next year. It's by commission only, so please message me before you do that. But otherwise, yeah, after that, it's going to be probably on a donation-only basis if you decide to continue with those services. And finally, also help me get pretty smart, get a second season. So if you go to help.netflix.com/whatever language you've got /title request and type in the titles you want to see continue, maybe Netflix will actually listen, as well as checking out the hashtag Pretty Smart Season 2. Here's all my social media in case you want to check out some more. I've got TikTok, I've got Twitch, I've got Discord, link for my servers in the description. DJ MK Off the Air for YouTube, which also puts back the playthroughs of this game. I also have a second YouTube channel called Theological Otaku, which will upload pretty soon, as well as my Twitter and my blog for any updates that you would like to see. So, yeah. Well, this is a beautiful, happily ever after, happily ever after. I wish you one as well. Have a happy holiday. And of course, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, everybody, have a good night. Bye!
Bye.